James is a medium-sized traffic engine who has a smart red paint. To him, it is best feature. He likes boasting about it to the other engines. One summer's night, James arrived back at the sheds. He had just got a new coat of paint and he wanted to brag about it. Hey everyone, look at me! Don't I just look great in my new coat? Come on, James. You just got a new coat of paint last week. Enough of bragging about it. The railway's more important than it. Besides, my speed's better than your paint any day. Yeah, James, it's the only thing you ever talk about. James ignored both Gordon and Percy and went to sleep. The next morning, his driver and fireman arrived. Come on, James, we got an important job to do. We have to take some tourists to the chocolate factory. If you say so. What's wrong? Are you okay, James? Asked his driver. Nothing. Let's just get to work. As James left his shed, he had an idea. Maybe I can prove Gorodon I can be just as important as him. He smiled as he arrived at the station. Thomas was there delivering some goods from his branch line. Thomas, I can show Gorodon I can be important just like him. Careful, James. You're just going to end up in trouble. Just be safe and do your best. Huh? You wouldn't understand, Thomas. We mainline engines have reputations to keep up. Why are you speaking like Gordon? I am going to be important just like Gordon. I might as well speak like him, eh? Just be safe, warned Thomas. James didn't listen, and he set off in a flash. Watch it! How did you get to go so fast? Was it you, fireman? No, I have nothing to do with it. It must be you. Meanwhile, James was racing along the line. Slow down or you'll have an accident, warned his fireman. The passengers were being bumped around. They didn't like that at all. Eventually, James slowed at a signal near a bridge which would get him to the chocolate factory. Gordon was there. What are you doing? You are being a disrespectable engine. Going so fast, not being safe. You are going to get into trouble by going so fast. Plus, the hill is steep. Judge, I'm fine. I can handle myself. You have to be safe, warned Gordon. I'm alright, said James. James set off for the bridge, leaving Gordon at a loss for words. As he rocked on the bridge, his driver heard something rattle. What was that? Thought his driver. He was confused, but they arrived at the chocolate factory, safe and sound. Maybe it was nothing, said his driver, hopefully. Meanwhile, Gordon and Thomas were at the station talking about James. James wouldn't listen to a thing I said. Disgraceful. He is definitely going to get into trouble. I definitely agree with you on that, Gordon, sighed Thomas. Back at the chocolate factory, James was ready. He was waiting to start up fast. Come on! I've got a timetable to keep up. Patience, James. You're asking for trouble. Nonsense, laughed James. James started up slowly. He started to make the rattle noises again. What's going on? It's happening again, said his driver. As James started to go up the hill, the noises became worse and worse. He huffed and puffed until eventually his wheels stopped altogether. Oh no! How did this happen? The rattle started when you were going so fast, said his driver. I'll go and call for help, said the fireman. Meanwhile, James could hear the passengers yelling at him and complaining about how they were being bumped around and then about how James broke down. They also said what a bad railway it was. The station master soon got the call, and the only engine available was Thomas. I knew James would get into a conflict, sighed Thomas as he left. James was able to get to the bottom of the hill, but he could still hear the passengers yelling at him, and he was worried. Thomas pulled up next to him. James, you should have listened to me, otherwise this wouldn't have happened. You always need help. Remember when you were stuck in front of the tree, and you didn't listen to me and Terrence? Remember that? Yeah, don't remind me. Thomas laughed and set to work. James was reversed to his side again. Thomas took his train. His driver and fireman examined him. It's your boiler and it is not right. You need to go to the works. Yes, I can tell that. But what's such an embarrassing situation? You just wanted to be important like Gordon. But being important could just mean being yourself. Have you ever thought of that? Well, I am already important and splendid, said James proudly. Whatever, let's just get you fixed up. James was sent to the works and he was gone for a long time. The others had to do his jobs for him. And poor Gordon had to pull some of his freight trains. Why should an important engine like me have to pull such dirty freight? When James finally came back to work, Gordon was glad he came back, but he and the other engines still teased him. Especially one night at the sheds. After everything I said, you still get into trouble. Especially when you end up having the same problem again. You got stuck on a hill just like with the legs. Alright, I may have made many mistakes. Just don't remind me of them. Why were you racing along in the first place? Asked Percy. I just wanted to be important just like Golden. I thought that my paint was the only good feature of mine. What are you talking about, James? You are a medium-sized engine who can pull both freight cars and coaches. Besides, you don't need to be important when you have lots of friends. Everyone agreed, and James just smiled.